Hi everybody, I just thought I'd share with you the thought processes that I go through that when I'm turning these pots. These are my tea bowls. To get a nice foot ring on, I throw the base quite thick, about just under a centimetre. First thing I do is just level off this outside piece here, just a little tiny bit. Then we get the base flat. Nice flat base. And this is my favourite turning tool here. I use this to mark where the foot ring's going to go. It's 1.5 lengths there. Once I've marked that, roughly, we then go in from the side. Hang on a minute, just take a bit more off here. Meat off. Take the corner off. I'm getting ahead of myself there. Just mark this again. Okay, that's going to be my foot ring there. Took the corner off and I'll give myself a flat spot there to work with. I've decided where the diameter of the inside of the foot ring, and then we'll just go in from the side here, go in, to that line. We'd already marked before. Okay, take a bit more of this off here, lose this shoulder. I tend to just keep, you sort of cut a shoulder in and then take it out, cut a shoulder and then take it out. We're starting to form the foot there. Take a little bit more out of this shoulder here. These are getting a bit dry now. I've been at it for about an hour. Create another shoulder. I like a little tiny undercut under here. 2 reasons. Mainly the aesthetic part of it. I'll show you in a little bit. Gives a nice sort of shadow line. But also when you come to dip them, it's a good foot ring to hold on to. We'll just take a little bit more out here now, in the centre. What I'm aiming for when I turn the centre here is to keep this level here and the inside look as if it's part of one curve. I don't know if you can see it on the film. Sometimes you can't do it, but ideally if you want this line here to run into the inside of the base. Doesn't have to be perfect. Take the inside edge off this here. That makes it look a bit lighter as well. Aesthetically it looks a bit lighter, but you still keep the strength of the foot ring. Using just a dry finger to smooth it off. To burnish it really. It's not too bad. Another tool here, this is useful for getting bulk out, but also it's a nice flat edge to give you a nice, I like a nice flat edge to this, more or less flat. I don't want it to be too rounded. I want it to have a nice angle as the pot comes down. I want it to cut under. These are all things you have to bear in mind when you throw in the piece, of course. When you first throw in the pot, you've got to allow the clay, enough clay here for you to cut it away, obviously, otherwise you'll be turning the bottom out of the pot. but I quite like the transition between the nice free flowing throwing lines here and that nice sharp edge there. Also gives you somewhere to glaze to. And then finally, once you've burnished it, what I like to do is to finish off the inside with a spiral. There. And that's it. Now, now what I do is, we've now turned it, there's all sorts of sort of flashing marks and bits of crud and whatever from when you're throwing it, and just get rid of them. Turn off any sharp edges, because this is going to be held in the hand, so it needs to be nice and smooth. Any bits of slip and slurry that's splashed on, you can't ever get it off when it's really wet. But all the time I'm turning this, all the time I'm turning it, I'm looking for the best place to put the indentation that I put in. Don't just stick it anywhere, you need a nice balance of lines. So as I'm going round taking little marks out of it here and there, I find a place where I want it, and that's where I want it. If I can find it. There we go. That's my stamp, and I just use the base of it, press it in there, give a detail. That's obviously going to deform the rim, so just check the rim is still round, and then I like to put my stamp on the opposite side to there, so the stamp goes in. I've got a little hole in there that tells me which way up the stamp is, because quite often I used to stick it in upside down. I need to get the stamp upside down. Put the stamp in there. Okay. Another good thing about when I turn the foot ring and measure it with the turning tool, is that when I come to load them in the kiln, they'll stack rim to rim and base to base, so I can get 3 on. Okay, and there we have it. Finished piece. Another 15 to go.